side of the glass is Jared as we are getting started on this Trivia Tuesday morning. Today is February 10th. We are in full swing of carnival season, and I'm making all the calls and bringing all my friends. So if you are joining us via Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you see that we have a full house, and we're going to have a pretty good time. And thank you. Good morning. We're going to go around and introduce ourselves, but I must give the welcome. Welcome. Grab yourself a comfortable chair, a mug, or a tumbler of your favorite frosty or steamy adult beverage. Sit a spell with us as we are on the historic campus of Xavier University at the foot of the overpass on Norman C. Francis Parkway. But don't forget to mind your manners, say good morning, and join us as we continue on our cool and chill journey here on the front porch. And I would like to welcome some pretty important people, ladies. Say good morning to our listening family.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And all of these good mornings, they sound like Charlie's Angels this morning. Tell the people who they're listening to this morning.
I know. Following the lead.
Good morning. I am Judge Kimya Holmes, Criminal District Court, Section D, Deputy Chief Judge of Criminal District Court.
I am Judge Juana Marine Lombard, Criminal District Court Magistrate Judge and Chief Judge of Criminal District Court.
And good morning, everyone. I am Tracy Fleming Stavalier. I am judge in Section B of Orleans Parish Criminal District Court, your immediate chief judge. Immediate
Come on.
pass. Immediate pass.
Okay.
Good morning, Judge Rhonda Good Douglas, Criminal District Court, Section E. I will refer to myself as the deputy chief, as I will be the deputy chief in 2 years.
Yay.
Yes.
Yes, ring the
Amen.
bell.
Good morning, ladies. It is a pleasure and a joy to have you all here. This conversation happened a while ago, but I'm glad to have you all here. And also, not going to work after today. So let's be clear, listening audience, they are volunteering their time to come and give you a little bit of tidbits. It's carnival season, and some of y'all need to be reminded about what you need to do about conducting your behavior. And in that vein, and also just in celebration, it's Black History Month. We have 4 Black judges with esteemed experience, and people know but they don't know, if that makes any sense. And it's when we see, or at least from my experience, people know where you're located. They know where you're housed, and that's a place that people tend not to want to go to. But I remember us taking field trips as kids. You see the mock trials and things. I don't know if that's happening anymore, but outside of that, people don't really know what happens down on Tulane and Broad.
Oh, a lot of things happen down on Tulane and Broad. But no, we do still have field trips. I think all of us have entertained high school, middle school students, college students. They still come there. I think that was the very first time. I'm born and raised in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I ever went in that building. I think I was maybe 5th grade.
Okay.
And it was a larger than life experience because, things seemed a lot bigger when we were younger. So it's always great to walk back in those halls and just remember the excitement and anticipation we felt when we first went in there.
Yes. And being that, unfortunately, our city is highly African American and people of color. Unfortunately, a lot of the people that we know are connected to go to the building not as spectators or to support. They often are there because they're being adjudicated themselves. And I think removing the mystery is important, just in general, about everything. How do things work? We have all this technology, but we're not explaining the inner workings of things. And then when you land in a situation, it's like, now what do I do? So in your respective courts, please share what it is and who you see. Criminal, yes, but how do they land in your court?
You can start.
They start with me. So I'm the magistrate judge, so I have a dual function. I technically see everyone initially because I'm the one that sets the bond. So anyone that gets arrested, really back it up. Prior to that, I signed the warrants. And we have 4 magistrate appointed commissioners who also signed the warrants. So we signed probably the majority of the arrest warrants. There are some arrest on site, like at parades and stuff. But most big events require a warrant for the arrest and the search. Then they come in, we set the bond. They stay in magistrate court until they're accepted or indicted, and I'll let one of them explain indictments. So we keep them anywhere from 60 days to 150 days. If they're on an ankle monitor initially, they're monitored by one of the commissioners or myself. If they're in some sort of specialty pretrial program, or if I let somebody out, our court has some of the, probably I'd say the best pretrial program in the state. And I'm not bragging. I think we have the best, most comprehensive pretrial program in the state. And our
Please explain what that means.
so we have over the years developed a pretrial program that allows us to not let, because they act like we let everybody out without a purpose. We let people out with a purpose because so many of our defendants are really suffering from mental health issues or drug addictions, or they just need a little guidance and monitoring. We have so many youth offenders that, they're running with the wrong crowd. They got into the wrong thing. They're still in high school
Right.
or freshmen in college. We're not trying to stop them from pursuing a productive future. So we have a whole pretrial services program that literally monitors them from the time they make bond or the time somebody releases them. And they have them drug test. They screen them for mental health needs. They put them in outpatient programs or inpatient programs. And all of this goes on before the case is accepted, but they continue to monitor them from the time the case is accepted. They just switch from my court to one of their courts, and they are monitored all the way up until trial. And then, obviously, if they're convicted, then one of them makes a different decision. If they're misdemeanors, which is mostly domestic battery and ag assault and stalking, they stay with me. And if I convict them, then we transfer them into another court that Judge Good Douglas and I kind of split, and she'll explain more of that to you. But the biggest thing is, in the beginning, the thing I always tell people is if they know there's a problem, if your son went to jail, but he's got a drug addiction, come to court and let the defense attorney know that, to tell the judge that. Because I got to give a shout out, our PDs, our public defenders have this great ACT team. They will, he may stay in jail a couple of days. They'll come back and say, Judge, we found him a bed. And if you let him go, we'll take him straight there and we'll put him on a 30-day program. So that's the beginning. And then eventually the case gets accepted or refused, and it passes on to one of my colleagues.
I'll take that. So once, if the district attorney or you guys know the attorney general is now prosecuting in Orleans Parish, so if one of those state agencies decides to accept a case, they either indict someone or file a bill of information, then that's like a petition basically in court. And so then it goes to one of the 12 sections. And so myself, Judge Holmes, Judge Good Douglas, and our other 9 judges will then receive those cases by a random allotment. We get those particular cases, and then we start up from the beginning. Basically, it's not always what you see on TV. I always tell the jurors, we have a lot of jurors that have their law degrees from like Law and Order, whatever. But it does start off with an arraignment. Basically, you're pleading guilty or not guilty. Most everybody pleads not guilty, of course. And then you set other hearings like your discovery, where you want to get your police reports, you want to get video surveillance, real-time crime cameras. Real-time crime cameras do exist in Orleans Parish. They are out there. They are filming everyone. That is used as evidence in criminal district court. So people, need to be mindful that those crime cameras are there for a reason, and they are being utilized. There's testing, DNA testing, gun residue testing. There's all kind of medical records and all kinds of other discovery and information that is exchanged amongst the parties. And then eventually you're basically preparing for the big case if it's going to go to trial. And so there may be hearings set because someone is declared to be mentally incompetent, and so you need a doctor to evaluate them. There may be other hearings set to say you want to suppress the identification or suppress the evidence or suppress a statement that someone made. There may be hearings in terms of whether or not someone qualifies as an expert witness. So there's a lot that goes on in the litigation process. I know everyone wants a quick turnaround, 6 months or whatever, but, justice shouldn't have, in particular, a timeline. If someone is in custody, then they take priority. Usually, if they are in jail, we want to make sure that we try to get their cases set sooner than later, because we know that they're in custody. That's a deprivation of their liberty. But if they're on bond, we try to basically prioritize all of our different cases. And so then that goes, that case, some cases plead. And most of our cases do plead. I mean, if you're looking at upwards of 100 plus cases on a docket, you want to make sure that cases are pleading, but they're pleading to the extent that they need to plead. In other words, you don't want to force anyone to plead guilty for something they're not guilty for or for exaggerated charges. But you want to make sure that the cases you're taking to trial are those that really need to be flushed out by a jury of their peers. And then I'll pass it on because we can all talk a lot, but I'll pass it on to Judge Good Douglas.
This is good information. And I hope
Give a
that
lawyer
you
a
guys-
mic.
Yes.
So along those lines, plea agreements generally happen between the state of Louisiana and the defendant. And we as the judges generally sign off on the plea agreements unless there's something that's just so outrageous that we feel that it's not a fair sentence. A lot of our defendants, as Judge Lombard indicated, may have drug addictions. And so Judge Holmes, myself, and Judge Flemings Davalier, we all have a drug court. And so what happens with drug court is that you're placed on probation. The defendant will be assigned to a drug court counselor. We give them treatment. They do counseling. They have to drug test free. The program generally takes about a year to a year and a half, generally, for someone to actually graduate from the drug court program. And it's sort of like an intensive probation. They come in every week. They check in with the case manager. They check in with the judge, and we sort of monitor them while they're through the probation process. Judge Lombard and myself, we also have a domestic violence court program where I have the high risk, high need defendants. Judge Lombard manages the low risk, low need, and those are individuals that have been adjudicated guilty on a domestic violence case, and these are offenders that it's intensive probation to ensure that there's no recidivism, in hopefully no recidivism.
Before you jump in, several things I want to point out. Okay. So there are layers of things that happen. And so in my mind as an educator, I'm hearing that as well. So before penalizing people and you know you have an issue, you know it's unjust to criminalize them for something that is a problem, an illness, whether it be mental, drug addiction is an illness. It's to assist to see if that can avoid or keep them from recommitting the crime, one of hurting themselves and also committing crimes. A lot of people want this baseline, bottom line, they get punished. But I hope you all are hearing that there are layers to how it's applied. And something about a Black woman, and especially nurturing for people, that's mostly important for me to hear because I have a Black son, I have a Black daughter. Their life is comfortable.
Yes.
So I don't have the same high concerns that people who may not have just basic needs. But knowing that in your hierarchy of Maslow's needs, you need to make sure that in the very base, they have a stable footing. And I'm assuming that the people you see, I'm sure you see kids who are well off or people who are well off and they're just making poor choices. But that keeps from criminalizing the poor, which is what we keep seeing right now. And especially with things politically, people are being criminalized because they're not white and poor.
Okay. I guess I will pick up on sentencing because I think that's kind of where we left off. So for pretty much every crime that is in Louisiana Criminal Code, sentencing is a function of the judge. There are certain crimes that mandate a certain sentence, second-degree murder, first-degree murder, first-degree rape. Those are sentences where you're going to get life imprisonment. Everything else is a range. And it's incumbent upon the judges. I can only speak for myself. So I never believed in, cookie-cutter justice, that this crime deserves this sentence, this crime deserves this sentence. I think you have to look at the person. You have to look at exactly what was done. You have to look at who the person was before the crime was committed, what they did after. All of these things, in my mind, encompasses who this person is. I don't think anybody wants to be judged for the rest of their life on something they did in their worst 5 minutes. So for me, unless there is a agreed upon sentence, and I don't just mean just the prosecutor and the defense. If it's a victim crime, I need the victims to come in and say that they are okay with the sentence. Because if they're not,
then you got to do
we got to do
because you have to
something
make
else.
the victim
Everybody
hold,
has
too.
to feel.
That's
Everybody
right.
has to feel heard in the criminal justice system, in my mind. So, for cases like that, when we don't have an agreed upon sentence, I tap probation and parole and ask them to do a pre-sentence investigation. And I think a lot of that has to do with my time that I did in federal court when I was on the federal panel and I did death penalty cases. In federal courts, what that basically means is they interview everybody. They interview the defendant, they interview the defendant's family, they interview the victims if there is a victim. If there is not a victim, if a person is deceased, or they interview the surviving family members, so forth and so on. They look at all the community resources this person could probably get, be it alcohol, be it mental, be it if they need to get their highs set. All of these things that they could do if they're actually put on supervised provision. And they look at the sentencing range. They look at if they have been in trouble before with anything. I mean, from traffic tickets all the way up into anything they've been arrested or convicted for. And then they give me a recommendation in this sentencing range of what they believe this person should be given as a sentence. It's only a recommendation. And then it's on me. What I usually do is when I get my sentencing reports from probation and parole, I give it to the parties. I tell them they have a week to object or put toward any mitigation package from the defense side or any aggravating package from the state side to me, and I'm going to look at all three of those submissions, and then I'm going to make my decision on what I believe the crime, the sentence should be for that particular crime for that particular defendant.
Whew. All right. Anybody else dizzy? But yes, this is information that people need to know, that while I have an interest of knowing how things work, I only need to know to a certain degree, right? Because if I'm not in it, or if it's not somebody I need to support, I don't need to investigate that. However,
No, that's not true. Let me tell you
Okay,
why.
say more.
Because and this is what I always tell people: when people get like those jury summonses in the mail, they want to throw them away. And I can say that because my daughter Reagan Gabrielle Detterville, who is in Morocco right now, she got her subpoena and was like, "No, Mom." I'm like, "Wait,
I
what?"
got in it.
You know, she's in Morocco, so it is. Yeah, she's probably at lunch right now or early dinner. But she's just like, I can't go because I'm in school. And she does, go to school in another state, and she's in another country right now at school, so she couldn't come. But a lot of people are like that. A lot of people get, your summons for jury duty, and it's like, no, I don't have time for that. I have to work. I have to do this. I'm not interested in it. But that's the problem, because everybody's entitled to a trial and to be judged by a jury of their peers. If your peers are throwing your the summonses away, who's going to judge you?
Now, in terms of that, I show up for that. But I'm saying in terms of knowing the literal ins and outs, I do have family members who have had a lot of experience with the judicial system because of mental illness, because of drug abuse. So I know to a certain degree. But I'm saying I don't know, because I don't know nobody doing that. I don't need to help nobody. I mean, if I needed to, I definitely would learn more. But I think it's necessary for people to understand the org chart of how things work, because I think if we inform them young enough, they may make other choices. And most times, it's like, I didn't know that was a crime. Well, now you're in front of a judge. It's not too late, but it's too late for you to have been made aware.
I think it's really important. I know we're all trying to jump in. I think it's really important for us is that what the citizens need to know, because we do get a lot of people saying court's not important to me, or court is important, because as a citizen you want a quality of life, right? You want quality of life as if you live here in the city of New Orleans, if you're coming in as a tourist, but you also want quality of life for your children, for the elderly people that are taking walks. You want to make sure that people understand, our children understand unintended consequences, jumping in a car with a friend who may not have a license, jumping in a car with a friend, a group of guys who may, decide, hey, this is fun to do, but it has real, consequences either in juvenile court or criminal court. But also because your elected officials need to reflect who you are. They need to reflect who you are. And so in our city needs to reflect who we are. We have lived experiences. And like you said, all of us have family members, who have, different levels. All of us do. None of us are above it. None of us were born with silver spoons in our mouths. And so because of our lived experiences, because of who we are, because of our own struggles, we can relate to the people that come before us. And they're not just objects. They're not just statistics. You see the data and the raw numbers and all the reports that are given, and it's just about data and raw numbers and case processing. It's about real human beings, whether it's on the victim side or the defendant's side. They're real people in front of us, and your elected officials have real control over people's lives. And so, when you're looking at what to do for someone who has an issue, for someone who's been involved in the system, it's like, how can you help this person? What's the source of the issue? What's the source of the problem? What can you do for a victim's family? What can you do for a defendant? And it has to be both, and it has to be weighed. And so we need to be there to represent our city, to make sure that people with lived experiences are the ones. We're not judging the people.
Right.
We're judging the actions. We're judging the actions. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
And so I'm going back. Yeah, we got no bells. What was that about?
Okay, cousin.
So
Hold tight. We still have a long time left in this segment. Yes.
So one of the things you touched on, or one of the things you said that I believe a lot of people believe, as Judge Davalier said, that the criminal court system doesn't really matter to them. They don't have any intention of committing a crime, is what they think. But it ties back into another program that we have, which is mental health court. Mm-hmm. So your children or your grandchildren or your sisters, everything can be fine, but a mental health issue can touch anybody at any time. And some of the things we see are like obsessive behavior. They become obsessed. They go in the same store and steal the same thing every day. That store wants them locked up, but when I let them back out, they're going to do it again. So they need to go through, and we have the pretrial mental health program that helps all the way up until acceptance, and then again, acceptance, they can go anywhere. But post-conviction, if they're convicted or they plea, we also have a post-conviction mental health program. I have the misdemeanor mental health court, and Judge DeLarge has the felony, and that is a lot of times what is needed to. It's not even that they don't have the resources, they just kind of don't do it. They're not on their medication. They're not going to group counseling sessions. But when you have that big stick of jail time or a conviction holding over their head and they become in compliance, once they start to do that on the regular and get used to it, it can truly turn their life around and stop us from seeing them over and over.
And that's what we
I
need.
got a bell.
That's what we need ultimately. Like, I do understand that people do actions, even like in regular life, people do actions, and sometimes they're not intentional, but sometimes they're driven by other things, and everybody doesn't know how to regulate their behavior according to their emotions. Everybody doesn't have that. That's not taught a lot of times, because people are always a walking powder keg because they're frustrated. Parents, it's difficult to teach that, but that shouldn't land you in prison for the rest of your life. And if you're committing petty crimes, like I know people who may have addictions, they steal soap because they know it's easily pilferable. They may sell lotion because I mean $5. I need deodorant right here at the bus stop. Here, $5. However, people separate the humanity from people who are struggling with those things, and they want to throw them away. These are actual human beings, and we can't keep doing that. Yeah, we've got to stop doing that.
So I think that's one of the biggest things. Judge Good Douglas and we actually shared an office together when we were in the DA's office. I started in the DA's office back in 2001. And one of the things I saw as a prosecutor, and I think, I won't say I was a part of the problem, but I was a part of the system that criminalized addiction. And so I remember when I was running, I was like, that's one of the first things I want to do is get a drug court, because I think you can put a person who is a drug addict in jail 100 times, and every time they get out of jail, unless they receive some sort of treatment, they're going to go back and do the exact same thing all over again. So I think that's the great thing about drug court. Not only does it help it helps with the actual addiction, but it also, when you complete the program, you can get an expungement. So not only are you getting help for the problem, you are getting that expunged.
Rewind. Okay, stop.
Okay.
Because there was never a direct line that I knew of. I know expungements were possible, but you just connected a dot. Can you go back and say that piece from right before the
Talk about expungement.
Yes.
All right. So just so, and I'm gonna take it back to what an expungement is. Is it something that can, if you have a conviction on your record, you can actually have that taken off, expunged from your record, so it would not show that you actually had that conviction, which we know affects financial aid if you want to go to
Credit.
college. It affects all government
Jobs.
programs. It affects jobs, your insurance rate. Like there's so many things that one conviction could actually impact in your life. Something you did when you were 17, 18 years old can follow you as long as you are on God's green earth. So one of the things you can do as far as the drug court is if you plead under Article 894, 893, once you complete your program, you can have that conviction taken off your record. And so I think just as much as getting the help is going to help you be a better person, be a more responsible citizen, getting that mark off your record is invaluable.
All right. I need to cut in really quickly because
Okay.
we do have to break away to Graylin. He's on the line. 504-582-9422. Hey, Uncle Gray. Good morning. Okay. All right. He'll give us a call back. Here we go.
So on expungements, what a lot of people also don't know is if you are arrested and never convicted, the DA null process the case, the charges get dismissed or they get refused. You can still come in and get that arrest expunged off your record because when you're looking for certain jobs, especially if it's in the federal system, they don't tell you that, but they look at arrest. So if you were, joyriding back when you were 20 and you got arrested for theft of a motor vehicle and you were never convicted, you can come and I handle all the pre-trial. Since I handle pre-trial, I know all the non-convicted expungements in the building. You come in, you get that expunged. When they look at your record now, they don't even see a record of previous arrest. And I've had people come in from and get stuff expunged from 20 years ago because it shows up every time they have a job search. I get a bell. That's my second
So-
bell.
There is a process to getting an expungement. You have to start off with getting the paperwork from the clerk's office, which is in the same building that we are in, 2700 Tulane Avenue. There are fee waivers that are available. It's very expensive otherwise, but there are some fee waivers that are available. There are certain organizations that will assist you with getting an expungement, and there's a lot of process and procedure. It's not an automatic thing, but you file your paperwork. It has to be served upon the district attorney's office, has to be served upon the attorney general's office and state police. And then
NOPD.
and the New Orleans Police Department, and once they make a determination that you have not, because the caveat is you have to have a clean record. So, if you finish drug court, you can't go out and get another arrest or get another conviction and think ultimately that you're going to be able to get that expunged right away. So it's a process. However, it is available. A lot of people I find don't know, like Judge Lombard said, those arrests that were null processed or dismissed, a lot of people don't know that that's still on their record. And I've been getting expungements from the 90s where people still have those convictions on their record. So start off at the clerk's office, then you come to see the judge, and ultimately we will make sure that happens for you.
Expungements are very expensive.
Yes. Expungements are very expensive. We're going to put a quick pin. I got to get Uncle Gray. He's over at the HNLC. Hey, Uncle Gray. Uncle Gray? I don't know. Can he? Hello? Uncle Gray? All right. We're going to cut away to him as soon as we get some connection. Not sure what's going on, but he is live at the historic New Orleans collection right now with the Trail Day Blaze. I don't know if you all have seen it. I have been through it. I do suggest that people come in for the free tour and get the information, because a lot of work went into decriminalizing actions, people protesting, which is protected under the Constitution, but because of color, we all know how this goes. We know what's happening. It's Black History Month. We know what's going on. But these particular pieces are things that we need to connect the dots. Yeah, we need to connect the dots.
I was just going to say that expungements are really expensive, but if you look into them, there's a number of groups that will help them sponsor their expungements. And also, if you're indigent, you can go to our clerk's office and ask for an informal purpose application. Now, the attorney's fees are also high, but you can actually do it yourself once you learn the process. And all of us have law clerks that are really willing to help. Our law clerks help with the, pro se expungements all the time.
Yeah. All right. You listen to the Front Porch here on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about all day long. Uncle Gray? Uncle Gray? I can't hear him. Uncle Gray? I'm not sure. It's not coming across the air. We're going to try and get him on. Go back to. All right. You listen to the Front Porch here on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Attention, WBOK listeners. Are you a fan of the station and want to show your support and style? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Introducing the official WBOK merchandise, the perfect way to wear your love for the station. Whether you're a longtime listener or a new fan, we've got something for everyone. Head to WBOK1230.com now and grab your WBOK gear before it's gone. When you buy WBOK merch, you're not just getting quality items, you're supporting the station you love.
Good morning and happy Friday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. The New Orleans Police Department is investigating a deadly crash on I-10 westbound near the Little Woods exit. We're told it happened just before 11:30 p.m. There is no word on what caused that crash or how many people were involved. Then a former teacher at the Academy of the Sacred Hearts in New Orleans is waking up behind bars charged with sex between an educator and a student. 29-year-old Teddy Page will appear in court today to have her bond set. In a statement from the school, officials say as soon as they learned of the accusations, Page was escorted off campus and fired. They say they then notified the NOPD. All right, get ready for the first big weekend of parades. Revelers can enjoy their favorite crews rolling in New Orleans, Metairie, and on the North Shore. The crew of Cork rolls at 3 in the French Quarter today. Then it is the crew of Ocean hitting the Uptown Parade route around 5. They are followed by the crew of Cleopatra. And finally, a huge congratulations to number 9. Last night, Drew Brees was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The legendary Saints quarterback is the only first ballot Hall of Famer for the Saints, and his resume includes a Super Bowl win, a Super Bowl MVP title, and many more accolades. That is a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
On the ranch. Yeah, unadjusted behind the board. They are on the campus of Xavier University. We're not. We are outside, y'all. Once again, joining our good friends down at the historic New Orleans collection. We are dab in the middle of the French Quarter during Carnival. How you like that, y'all? So you know the dedication is there, and it's always a great relationship. Hope you guys are tuned in. Tell everybody what we're doing. We're going to get the updated schedule, as a matter of fact, because the HNOC does an abbreviated schedule during this time of the season because it's just crowded down. And it does well for all the staff to get a break, and it's good that they looked out for everybody because it is very difficult to maneuver the French Quarter just to work. There's too many people out here having fun. So we are here at the HNOC once again, and this morning we are joined for the first time by the chief curator here at the historic New Orleans collection. Say good morning to Jason Weiss. Jason, good morning. How you doing? It's a pleasure to have you here, man. Absolutely. Now, Jason, we've been coming down here for a while, man, hanging out, talking about the Trail A Blaze and the other exhibits that come through here at the historic New Orleans collection, getting folks to come down and report and see just how nice this facility is, man. Now, before we get into what the chief curator does here, tell us a little bit about Jason, man. We'd love to hear the journey, where you started at, and I know you wasn't a little kid running around at home saying, one day I'm going to be a chief curator. Give us a little bit of that journey.
Yeah, just like being fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm originally from the upper Midwest. I've,
Oh, man, 3 more years, we'll give you the...
I've lived here now most of my life.
All right.
But, yeah, and I've worked at Tulane University for a while.
Okay.
Now about 27 years ago.
Oh, you're new. Pretty
Yeah,
new here.
pretty new.
Okay. All right.
I'm not the longest tenured.
We have had that conversation. It's got to be a fantastic place to work, man. You guys have very long term. Who's the longest?
Gosh, I think
And how many years? And
35.
more than 35 years. Shouts out to you, Benjamin. Yeah, man, that's a long run. Now, when you left the Upper Midwest, what brought you? Why New Orleans? Was it school? Was it faith? Was it?
It was a
karma?
girl.
I was going to get to that.
A
I was
little
going
girl.
to get to that.
A little girl. Now my wife.
Now your wife.
That
So it was
worked
a
out
good
well.
choice to follow
It was
her.
a good choice.
There you go. There you go. That's great, man. We always love to hear about the story and how you got here. Now, as the chief curator here at the Historic New Orleans Collection, what's your day like? Walk in, everybody say, man, everybody act like you got to do some work because...
Yeah, there's always a lot. So the chief curator at our museum oversees all of the exhibition programs,
Yes.
staff, and collection. Historic museum is based very large.
Maybe what, 8-10% of it is displayed here at any one time in any exhibit here in the
At the moment,
yes. Wow. But you're in charge of everything.
I'm in charge of everything. In charge of staff.
Yes.
Especially for curatorial stuff. New objects into our collection.
Mm-hmm. Are you still surprised? You've been doing this for a minute, man.
I feel tremendously fortunate.
Yes.
I think we're all lucky.
I agree with that.
So
I wholeheartedly.
Being history and culture, that there's always a surprise.
Yeah.
And New Orleans specializes
Daily.
in surprises, those little moments that really couldn't happen.
Yes. 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 And you get a chance to see more of that than the average person with all of the stuff that comes in. How often do the exhibits change when you've already got over 1 million pieces in your collection?
Right.
How do you determine, as the chief curator, what are we going to talk about next? Because right now we're talking about the Trail Day Blaze, which is fantastic. You've been talking about that a little over a year now. All the folks involved. But when the decision is made, move this one out and bring something else in, how does that come about?
Well, there are a lot of conversations that precede an exhibition opening. We have a whole process where exhibit ideas are proposed, discussed, workshopped, improved, and once we get through that process and are able to commit to actually doing an exhibition, the production timeline for that is ideally 2 years. 2 years.
The production timeline. You
Right.
want to make sure that's not the time that it's going to be displayed.
Right.
That's the
That's
time
just
after the meeting.
right.
That it
That's
takes to put it together.
picking the objects that best illustrate the story you're going to tell, designing the look and feel of the gallery, writing all the words, designing exhibit interactives, all of it ideally plays out over 2 years. And things like the Trail Day Blaze, that had an even longer runway.
Yes.
We were working with people who were actually involved in the civil rights movement. That began as an oral history project and kind of grew from there.
Yes.
Those interviews with people who were there doing that activism. Many, of course, are still with us.
Yes, as we have had the honor and the distinct pleasure of talking to them, Dr. T, Smith, and I mean, folks who are ancillary, folks who've been part of it, and them hearing the stories of other folks
Right.
who may have transitioned by now, but to know that they were here, they were not. This is not ancient history.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that long ago. Surprisingly.
Now it's interesting because as the chief curator, I would think that you would want to see stuff that you would want to see. How does what Jason is interested in managed with all of the other stuff that comes in? You know what I'm saying?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And we all have our, everyone on our curatorial staff has their specialty, has their interests. I'm no different from the rest. I'm a maps guy.
Really?
One of my
Cartography.
specialties is cartography. Yeah,
Okay.
and I love old maps, so I've curated over the years several exhibits of old maps, and I love that.
Love
but
to
I
see
recognize
how the space has changed.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I recognize, of course, I'm just playing a role in facilitating the work that so many other talented people on our staff are able to do. So I can't be about me. My job as chief curator is what are the very best stories we can put out in front of our visitors.
Right.
And who are the curators who are best suited to do that work, to make those interpretations.
Okay.
And let it go from there. There's plenty of room. We have a lot of exhibit galleries. We're constantly thinking about, okay, what do we want to do 5 years out?
Right.
What do we want to be looking at? What do we want to be working on?
And with all of that space and with all of those exhibits, you could probably get a little bit of your own desires.
I try to sneak one in here and there.
I like that, and I like that because maps have always been interesting to me because you can see how the whole, not just here in New Orleans, the whole world has changed. How it has changed from the beginning when people were out going across the seas and trying to map it and see how this world looks. It's always interesting, man.
It's fantastic because you can see, how people saw and understood the world.
The world, yes.
And we're very fortunate here. We have a fantastic cartographic collection. I think our oldest map is from 1513. So just
a map of
Christopher Columbus was still alive when this map was made. It's a map of.
I was just about to ask you, what is it a map of?
It's a map of Europe and then North and South America. One of the earliest maps of it by Martin Walsenmüller, and it's just about the earliest printed map that shows the Gulf of Mexico. So that's why we have it in our collection.
Oh, wow. And is it still as accurate? Then when you look at it, because I know sometimes things have, it changed, but it just had the
1513. That one is. Yeah. And considering the technology that they had available to them, it's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Wow, man! I tell you, that is very interesting to see that the way that this city has changed. Because I've seen old maps of when New Orleans was just the quarter.
That's right.
And grew out from there, and all the places and all the engineering that had to take place to drain the swamp and fill it. But we're still here.
Still here.
Yes, indeed.
Still hanging on.
Yes, indeed. Now, once we get through the Trail Day Blaze, which is going through, I think, May.
Yeah. It is open through June 6th.
June 6th. What is up next? What is up on the map once we pass through Trail Day Blaze? Has that been decided?
The very next exhibit that's opening will be in March, and it's in the downstairs Stover Gallery.
Okay.
And it's an exciting exhibit called American Revolution, the Augmented Exhibition. So it involves some virtual reality. There's immersive scenes from different parts of the American Revolution story. So beginning with the Declaration of Independence on through the Siege of Yorktown and the creation of our Constitution. So there are 20 distinct stories that kind of take visitors through the entire American Revolution, not just the fighting, but the people how they thought about and saw things.
Now, that's interesting. The technology part, you say it's interactive. Is that the direction that museums are going to be going? Is it going to be the 1513 map with the technology from the 21st century, putting that together to give you a fully immersive picture. Is that the direction?
I think some museums are leaning more into technology than we have. I mean, we really pride ourselves on having real things, real historical objects that people can see
and people
and experience, and people.
and people. Yes.
We're most interested in the stories and whether there's a good balance of, story and accessibility. So the good thing about American Revolution, the augmented exhibition, is we know how that technology works. We hosted a similar exhibition about Notre Dame Cathedral. I think it was about 3 years ago.
Was that after the fire?
Yeah, exactly.
You guys did the rebuild. I think, yes, I recall
that. This is part of that, awareness building about the reconstruction of the Notre Dame Cathedral. Yeah. And people loved it.
Right.
People loved it. They got to see the whole history, how the cathedral was built, who built it. So this is kind of the same idea. Who was involved in the American Revolution?
Yes.
And, it'll have a lot of stories that people aren't familiar with, that they didn't learn in school.
Not just the British are coming.
It's not just the British. It's not just Lexington and Concord. It's also Pensacola.
Yeah.
There were Louisiana people fighting in the
American Revolution.
Yeah.
Wow. And you learn all about that next year. And when does that exhibit begin?
This is going to open this coming March 20th.
This coming March
20th. So next month. Next month.
Okay. All right. Now, you've also got an exhibit here that talks about the artistic endeavors of musicians.
That's right.
Here, which is also a great, because you would think that as creatives, making music, writing music, composing, and playing, that would be the full outlet. But you've got artwork by many musicians who find another way to funnel that creativity.
Right. Well, it's called New Orleans Musicians in Art.
Yes.
And it's 14 paintings from our permanent collection that show or relate to early jazz music.
Okay.
So it's mostly portraits of jazz musicians. So that first generation, second generation of New Orleans musicians. So some people you've heard of, some people you probably haven't, or you may not have.
Right.
I guess. If you're a jazz aficionado, you probably know everyone up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a small focused exhibition, but like you said earlier, we have only a small proportion of our full collection on view at any given time. An exhibition like this is an opportunity to pull some gems out of our collection that we might not otherwise get a chance to show, let people experience. So
I can imagine that, man. Because if you walk through your museum, you see stuff like, why couldn't we put this out? Because something's gonna talk to you. If you're in a vast area full of all of these artifacts, something is going to reach out to you and make you think, why isn't this? But only got a finite amount of space,
right?
Limited amount of time,
right? So yeah, these all relate to New Orleans jazz music, and we paired the paintings with actual recorded jazz music by the musicians that are shown in the painting. So it's kind of,
and that's going right now. That is going. It is on right now.
It is on view, and like all of our exhibitions, it is absolutely free.
Which is what we talk about every time we are here at the Historic New Orleans Collection. It will not cost a thing. Just you might wind up learning something if you're not careful. So be careful, but come anyway. It is free. It is beautiful. Jason Weiss, who is Chief Curator here at the Historic New Orleans Collection. Thank you, my friend. I know you are busy, and we certainly appreciate you taking time out of your day to come and sit with us right here on the Front Porch. We got an open invitation, and anything is going on, you want to come back and tell the folks about it, please do.
I'd love to, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Jason, so good. Take care of yourself, man. You're tuned into the Front Porch, WBOK. It's what New Orleans is talking about. Don't go nowhere, y'all. We got to take this quick break, and we're going to be back to you once again live from the Historic New Orleans Collection. See you then.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
When it comes to family planning, should you go with a will or a trust?
A will is like leaving instructions to the court. It tells them who gets what, but your family still has to go through a succession, which can be costly and time-consuming.
A trust, on the other hand, avoids court altogether. So when the time comes, everything transfers smoothly to your loved ones.
It's a little more work up front, but way less hassle and expense later. Plan smart, save time, and take care of your family.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Hi, I'm Imani Godan, founder of GoDance. GoDance is a nonprofit interdisciplinary dance organization rooted in New Orleans, providing access to dance education and sustainable, wellness-centered art practices. Right now, you can be a part of this work by participating in our Key to Your Heart house raffle. Our programs are open, inclusive, and community-centered, supporting artists, students, and creatives at every stage. Your involvement helps expand access, education, and opportunity for artists of all ages. To learn more and get involved, visit GoDance, GAUDANSE.org.
Saturday, February 14th, join WBOK for a special LCMC Health edition of Keeping You Well Cafe. Meet me, Kimber White Dupree, Endymion Saturday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. outside the University Medical Center. I'll be broadcasting live in front of the parade route, and a special team of medical professionals will be stopping by, ready to give you tips to keep you healthy this carnival season. Don't miss this special edition of LCMC Health, Keeping You Well Cafe, and WBOK Broadcasting live on Saturday, February 14th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. LCMC Health. Tomorrow starts here.
The Historic New Orleans Collection presents a new exhibition open through June 7th, 2026, The Trail They Blazed. Built collaboratively with people who participated in the local civil rights movement, The Trail They Blazed presents stories of social and racial justice straight from the people who lived them. Listen to leaders tell their stories of resistance and persistence in their own voices, recorded by the Historic New Orleans Collection. Plan your visit to 520 Royal Street in the French Quarter and reserve your free tickets at hnoc.org today.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Starting off a new work week, we are expecting to be into the 70s all week, and also more days with fog in the mornings as that humidity is starting to increase. Today, we'll see partly cloudy skies, highs between the low 70s to the mid 70s, and then we're expecting a midweek chance for rain on Wednesday, but then watching for this weekend as we could see potential storms for Saturday. Still working out the timing and details. For the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Hi, I'm Imani Godan, founder of GoDance. GoDance is a nonprofit interdisciplinary dance organization rooted in New Orleans, providing access to dance education and sustainable, wellness-centered art practices. Right now, you can be a part of this work by participating in our Key to Your Heart house raffle. Our programs are open, inclusive, and community-centered, supporting artists, students, and creatives at every stage. Your involvement helps expand access, education, and opportunity for artists of all ages. To learn more and get involved, visit GoDance, GAUDANSE.org.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Comparing the cost of will, successions, and trust.
A will might only be a few $100s, but your family could end up paying more in legal fees.
Trust costs more upfront, which saves time, stress, and potentially thousands.
Think of it as paying a little now to avoid a big bill later. Smart planning means big savings for your family. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Volunteers packed food boxes at the Islamic Center of Detroit for Ramadan, part of a 15-year effort led by Islamic Relief USA.
I wanted to be out here to help others who may be in need, who may not be able to afford to eat when they break their fast.
The boxes provide enough staples to feed a family of 5 for a month during the holy season when Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset. Entergy Mississippi says power is finally restored to all customers after nearly 3 weeks of outages that left more than 87,000 people in the dark. Over 2,000 line workers from across the country helped rebuild the grid. And Public Enemy is reimagining their classic He Got Game with a new women's empowerment anthem titled She Got Game, featuring Flau'jae, Redna MC, and Cindy Blackman Santana. Proceeds benefit the Women's Sports Foundation and the Black Music Action Coalition's Female Fund. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
You're on the front porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to the Front Porch here on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree, and on the other side of the glass is Jared. I hope that you have been enjoying the time over with Uncle Gray. But we're back in the studio, back on Xavier's campus, and joined by yet another one of my friends. And it's a special time of year because an annual event will be taking place on this Lundi Gras, and I'm so happy to have you back. Welcome back to the Front Porch, Blair Dotton-Harley of the Blair Rhythms. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing this morning? Look, I was just fighting. I love these new headphones. I was just fighting with them.
Yeah, well,
and this is what else is funny.
It's
Mine not even plugged in.
Yeah, you know.
I'm like, wait a minute.
It's all good.
I can't even hear anything.
I
it's
don't
it's
like
been that
things
kind of morning.
on my head, so sometimes I will put them on, sometimes I won't, but I'm not adjusted just yet. Yes, but you're getting.
And then I'm getting there, y'all. I promise.
Getting situated.
Okay, and I'm back.
To put them on.
Hi, everybody.
There you go. And now, no, right underneath. You see that volume?
When I
don't
tell
go
you-
too high, too fast, because you're gonna hurt yourself.
Oh, there we go.
Then that's nice, huh? Yeah. There you go. Well, welcome back and good morning. How
Good morning.
you doing?
I'm doing really, really well. It's been a whirlwind of a 2026 already.
Yes.
We suffered a huge loss in my family in the second week of the year, and so I'm just really still kind of processing that and navigating that. And
Condolences to
thank
you
you so
and
so
Brandon.
much.
I overstand.
And I'm so proud of how he has navigated all of the things that come along with, burying
Grief.
a parent and, the family stuff and all of that. He's handled it with such grace and strength. And I'm just really, really proud of him. And I'm just navigating through. I'm glad it's Mardi Gras Carnival time.
Carnival time, baby.
I need a little bit of
Joy.
revelry and joy. I was telling someone this weekend that Black joy is resistance. It is a form of pure resistance in this world. And so grateful for the opportunity to both share some joy and hopefully some joy and some light with other people at Lundi Gras Love, but also a chance to get loved on and get some myself.
Yes.
And get some joy myself. So, yeah.
So, Lundi Gras Love.
14.
Yes, Lundi Gras Love. Let's talk about it and how
Yeah.
it came to be, because I have had my own appearance
You
on
have.
the stage with you for Lundi Gras Love. That was amazing. And I actually needed that because my dad had passed
That's
that
right.
November
That's
before.
right.
So
That's
that was a
right.
heal for me. But Lundi
Wow.
Gras Love, how did, what was the conception? How did we get
You
to
know,
that?
Lundi Gras Love started uh, through an open mic that Johnny Brasco was running.
Okay.
And he was doing an open mic at the Clever Wine Bar that was inside of the American Can Company on Monday nights. And he invited me this particular year. This is in 2010. He invited me to come. He was like, listen, you don't live in town. I wasn't living here then. People here don't get to see you perform that often. I'm going to be shutting down the open mic because for Lundi Gras, my usual Monday night. How'd you like to come and do like a set, just invite people? So we kind of impromptu just invited people for just like, look, if you're in town Monday night, I'm going to be singing at the Clever Wine Bar. We did that with like 3 or 4 days notice and like 75 people showed up.
All right, yes.
And so the next year we created it, we did it as a thing. We planned it and named it and whatnot. And so in 2011 was the first Lundi Gras Love at the Clever Wine Bar, hosted by Tanya Boyd Cannon.
Okay.
I'll never forget this.
The Voice, yes.
The Voice, yes. And then that year we had so many people that the fire marshal made us stop letting people in the Clever Wine Bar. And so that night I said, we need a bigger place.
We've outgrown it.
We outgrew it within the first real year of it being official. And so we moved it to down by my dear brother Chuck.
Yes.
At Cafe Istanbul. Shout out to my dear brother Chuck. Moved it to Cafe Istanbul, where we have been ever since. And with the exception of the 2021 year, because of COVID. We have been at Istanbul every year on Lundi Gras night to celebrate Lundi Gras, to celebrate love, to celebrate the local talent that is in New Orleans. We've had everybody from, as I mentioned, Tanya Boyd Cannon, Winton, Sonny Patterson, Kayla Jasmine.
Oh, the
the
list is
people,
endless.
the people. I mean, but we've also been fortunate enough to bring in folks from other parts of the country. So Frenchie Davis, T.C. Carson, Kenny Lattimore, the flow assist from Floetry, if you remember that year. Last year, we had Mia X. So both local homegrown talent, but also an international artist. This year, Dawn Richard, both a local artist, but also international.
Yes.
The original Panettes.
Yes. Shout out to them. Listen, the world famous Panettes.
World
because
famous
if y'all don't
Panettes.
remember, I can't forget how they represented us so well at the Super Bowl Licks last year on the stage as an all-woman band. Second line band. And so shouts out to you for you and the team and Brandon and the team, everybody, all y'all, for making sure that you are showcasing the talent that is here because most of the time we forget the abundance of talent that we have here.
Well, everybody else knows.
Yeah.
The whole rest of the world knows how much talent is here. And I would say we all do know how much talent is here. I think it's a thing of, I mean, that's just human nature, right? Things that are closest to you, you sometimes, if you don't really be mindful, you'll end up taking it for granted because of its proximity to you.
Right.
But I'm excited for this. You may just see a collaboration between me and the Panettes the night of the show. And so looking forward to sharing the stage with the Panettes this coming week. Sonny Patterson again will be joining us, hosted by the millennial Arsenio DC Paul, who has been the host for years and years and years now, in the Beats, running by my dear brother DJ Juan Jordan, who is always on the ones and twos. I'm just really, really excited for the 14th year. could not have imagined that we would be 14 years since that first one and still going, and
Here we are.
folks still show up and spend their Lundi Gras night with us. I'm grateful for, shout out to all of the return folks who come year after year after year. There are folks who have been to almost every one of them. And so I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to create the space that people want to come back to even the night before Mardi Gras.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lundi Gras Love. It is a time. Where can people get tickets?
So if you want tickets to Lundi Gras Love, we will have them at the door, but also theblairisms.com, 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 and there's a link right at the top. As soon as you go onto the site, you'll see an Evening with Blair, Dot, and Haley, and where to get your tickets.
I am going to go ahead and put that link in the chat here on
Please
Facebook
come and join
on
us.
YouTube and Instagram. For those of you who are interested in attending, I can attest that it is a wonderful show. It is a show that leaves you feeling happy, a lot of joy during the show, because there's a whole lot of turn to your neighbor and high five and hug and all of that. There's
That's all the
opportunities
things.
for you to do that. So I'm very excited that you all are in your 14th year. Give us those socials.
Yes, please follow. Please, you can find me on Facebook at Blair, Dot, and Haley, but also Instagram at The Blairisms. So just search BLAIRISMS on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Threads, all the things.
All the places.
All the places. All the places.
Well,
And
go for it.
special shout out to my partner in crime, Brandon Bay, Dot, and Haley, for always having my back, my front. I mean, having someone who is a partner in production and in life. My husband always takes care of me, takes care of us. He helps to make sure the show happens.
Yes.
And also helps me to make sure I get on stage and am my best self. So I want to give him a special
Shout out to Babe. Having them babes be nice.
shout.
Huh?
Oh,
Yeah,
you know what it's giving.
I know what it is. We love the bass. Well, y'all, you're listening to the Front Porch here on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. Be sure to hit the Blairisms. Get your tickets now because they do go quickly. And we're going to see y'all on the other side of the break.